Next question to Councilor Balzotti. In a radio appearance in WXV 1460 a week or so ago, you cited managing your personal finances as evidence you can manage this city. Is that enough proof that you can do so?
Clearly, Steve, that on that occasion, that was not the A answer, not appropriate. I have spent the last 12 years managing the money of the city of Brockton as an astute and fellow city councilor who did a lot of homework. I have always been a common sense budgeter, always reviewed every line item in the budget, always made cuts where they deemed appropriate, always tried to protect public safety and education, and I have learned through the last 12 years, as well as 3 years in the state legislature where I worked on state budgets with Representative Canavan, how to work a budget. So clearly that was not the A answer. I think this answer is much better.
Mayor Harrington.
I agree, it is a much better answer than the other answer, but let me first say this. You still don't have any proven ability to manage a corporation the size of the city of Brockton. When you're sitting there as one of 11 members of the city council, and I know what your job was because I did it for 16 years, that does not prepare you to do what you need to do. You need to have experience in other fields other than that. My experience in building a business here in Brockton, my experience as probably the most informed budget person when I was on the city council, all of those things together to do it. It takes a long series of steps to do it. I have corporate experience when I worked in Wang Laboratories for many years in management. Those are things that prepare you for this. When you're going to sit down and you have a list of people or a list of positions and you have to figure out which ones you're going to eliminate, it's not something that you learned on the city council because for the most part, I don't, first of all, remember you ever making a cut on the city council. And second of all, I don't remember in the 4 years that I've been here that you've ever called me and made any suggestion about doing anything differently than the way I was doing it.
Jim, that is just not true. I have made numerous cuts to the city budgets over the last 12 years. And the fact of the matter is that managing a budget and managing the city budget requires a lot of collaborative work. And I'm prepared to work with department heads, to work with the CFO, and to formulate decisions to make those cuts. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Mayor, I would work in a collaborative effort with department heads. As a matter of fact, the Library Foundation came to you with an idea to keep the libraries open all summer. You chose not to take that idea. We cut money from the budget. You would have been able to reappropriate. You chose not to do it. But I would have worked with them and found that out, and I would have helped facilitate it.
Well, Council, let me just remind you, at that time in the budget, when those cuts were made, we had no idea how much we were going to get from the state. So nobody was in a position to say there was going to be any surplus. Just because you cut the money that we directed you to, we told the city councilors what monies, when I was up there, what monies could be cut. Those are the only monies that they cut. The only agreement we had is I told them that I thought they should take $50,000 out of the 21st century corporation budget, and they wanted to take out $100,000. But the other cuts that were made were cuts that we, myself, and the chief financial officer had recommended. So to say that that you made cuts and the money was there is simply not true. Because you didn't know it was there, and I didn't know it was there, and it was some later when we finally got the final numbers from the state where we knew how much money that we had.
Well, Mr. Mayor, it's been my experience in the last year or so that we always seem to be able to find the money, and I think that the money could have been found, and those libraries could have been open all summer.
Well, I don't...
Last word on this goes to Mayor Harrington.
Well, I think the question is, where do you take the money from if you don't take it from the libraries? That's the question.
Thank you both for that.